guess the colors kind of match, but it's not like you own yellow and blue. And technically, Brisk had them before.
What? Is this an Invincible advertisement for Brisk? That's Brisk, baby. This is interesting.
Either way, that's Brisk, baby.
That's Brisk, baby. Yeah, yeah. All right. Weird to compliment an ad, but it works on multiple levels because also they're seeking sponsorship, the characters. They're trying to make money. They have a business. Invincible, season 4, episode 2.
Fucking ridiculous.
Oh, is this? It is, isn't it? I guess we're back to Earth this time.
What's the point of coming to a place like this when you can't drink?
See, you're a destination guy.
Wow.
I'm more about the journey, the vibe, the ambiance. If we don't stop to smell the roses every once in a while, well then, what's the point in anything?
Can you smell?
Can't smell neither.
Right.
What do you want, Machine Head?
World peace, a pony, my name and lights, the list goes on.
Whoa, slow down, slow down. A pony. That would be difficult and highly inconvenient.
Except, and I'm sorry for bearing the lead, Mr. Liu couldn't even do us the basic fucking courtesy of staying dead.
He's alive again. That's a problem. It undermines everything we just said.
I know! Look at my face! I'm as surprised as you are!
He actually does look surprised, though, is the funny thing. Not now. Do we have enough going on? Speaking of Mark and Eve's sponsorship, wasn't the prison thing one of their first gigs?
I've got this gorgeous mosaic on the floor of my 5th bathroom. Ancient Roman.
Why didn't you say so before?
Like that, but it's got one broken tile, and every time I sit down for a deuce, it drives me fucking nuts.
What happened to smelling the roses? Perfect is the enemy of the good.
I didn't fight like hell for my own peace just to give it back.
Just when I got out, it dragged me back in.
I take my chances.
He's sort of always been like that. I admire the whatever that is. The inner resolve, I guess. Oh no, I didn't want to come back to this.
With all due respect,
Speaking of burying the lead.
you would have done the same.
Oh, Cecil absolutely would have done the same. Are you kidding me? He wouldn't have waited. And then he would have said, I had no choice. Because he loves saying that. Bold of Donald to assume that Cecil feels conflicted about that needed saying. But Mark willingly killing people is interesting. Not the freeze frame, too.
I can't wreck an entire planet with my bare hands if I get in a pissy mood.
Right.
Mark has
I wouldn't.
a little more prone to absolute solutions recently.
Yeah. I would give him a little bit of faith, though.
And Russ was an innocent man. That's different.
Okay, he's not wrong, of course. Cecil very much thinks about things in terms of risk. He's that classic Batman, Superman, Ben Affleck thing of like, if there's even a 1% chance, we have to treat that as an absolute certainty, which I really hate personally. But it's compelling for a reason. You can't ignore a threat or you're just a fool. But to challenge this a little bit, it's unfair to say it was an innocent person because Russ was an innocent person. Russ wasn't the thing we were fighting. And Mark recognized that, which is why in the heat of the moment, he said, I'm sorry, right? His apology doesn't save Russ, of course. Let's put things in their proper place. But you cannot in good faith say that was him killing an innocent man and that's the whole story. Secondly, I think one mistake Cecil makes repeatedly, even if we assume his assessments are correct, he then takes measures that end up being counterproductive. Like just assuming the worst and treating someone as the worst, especially someone like Mark, that has in the past widened the divide. When I think maybe what would be called for a little bit is a little bit of faith, though that's really tough for Cecil. Why don't you talk to him? Why don't you bring him in and talk to him about it instead of like, some weird mechanical earpiece or I don't know, some doomsday laser or something.
I believe Mark's still doing what he thinks is right.
I also
After everything
believe
he's been
that.
through.
Exactly.
Which doesn't mean it's totally safe, but
The last person we need losing their shit is...
Invincible. Right, this is true. Maybe a rest, maybe a little bit of a break. I mean, not really possible, is it?
If he had just waited another few
Man.
seconds.
Invincible did the right thing.
You can't believe that.
Where are we at if he didn't kill Russ? The dome fails, Sequas take the planet.
Okay, I think I can sort of see where this is going here. Firstly, I think the ambiguity isn't itself a good sign. If there's a persistent problem that just repeats over and over again without any kind of ground, what it probably means, or what it might mean at least, is that there's just an unsolvable problem there, or a problem that exists on a spectrum, right? There's a perfect middle point or balance we're always seeking that can never exactly find. And so it's just gonna have to continuously be hashed out like this. There is no like, that was right or that was wrong. Not to say that everything is subjective and anything can be okay. Instead, it's that there are trade-offs. And so, you go too far down that road, you risk this. And if you go too far down the other road, you risk that. These never-ending social debates, for example, more often than not, are probably either a result of this sort of thing, where there's a risk of this getting too out of hand, and there's also a risk of the opposite getting too out of hand. Or just people prioritizing different things which are important. For example, freedom versus safety. The importance of rules versus the fear of tyranny. In this particular case, I think one of the main issues is that we're basing it on outcome, and we don't know the outcome. We don't know what would have happened. Mark didn't know what would have happened. All of the, it would have been just a few more seconds. that's later armchair rationalizing. It sort of makes the argument unnecessary if the whole foundation of it is based on a different interpretation of what would have happened. Like if I say, oh, well, it would have been too late, and so he had to kill him, or no, it would have been on time, so it was wrong to kill him. That all is undone by the fact that no one knew. It's frustrating, but that's just what it is. It's unknowable, or at least it was unknowable at that time. A much more interesting, more constructive conversation, though still has challenges, is what are the rules that decide it anyway? Is it outcome or is it values? And for me, outcome is a way more difficult and flimsier one. That said, that is a hard standard. And, let he is without sin cast the first stone. I say all that to say, we can say that it's ambiguous. It was tragic what happened to Russ. We can extend a little bit of good faith to Mark here on this, not to mention the human touch of the fact that Mark is probably suffering. Maybe that would be a better focus.
Let me make this clear, genius.
It was pointed out to me that his voice actor is Mike Ehrmantraut, the character from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. And wow, did my appreciation for his character go way, way up. And also my fear of him.
You follow my orders or you never go into the field again. Got
yes,
it?
sir.
If I hadn't entered the sewers.
Did I ask for an excuse?
Speaking of outcome versus principles.
I understand.
Man,
Good.
Fake Rex just getting owned left and right.
What a dick.
Thanks for taking my side. I really needed a win.
I think we all agree that I had absolutely
Not now.
nothing
That's
to do
also
with
not how this works. You just made it so much worse. Uh-oh. Are you okay? Are you okay, Rudy? Yeah, there's still a chance he's infected. We didn't really see everything. Uh-oh. Yeah, it did happen. I thought that might happen. You're not supposed to go in the sewers, man. Oh, this is so alien, too. This is exactly alien. Thank you. Thank God. Why are you in here?
I never even felt it.
That's scary. It could be anywhere with anyone.
It's okay. We won.
Who knows? Who knows?
No. We were lucky. And luck isn't a variable we can control.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
We're not dealing with these threats permanently, and because of that, it's simply a matter of time before our luck runs out and they defeat us.
Okay, where are you going with this? Yeah, he was arguing against Mark earlier, but it's so seductive, I get it. Speaking of eternal things, right? That's why. Because it's right. But then clearly, also, we know what happens when, because of that thought, because of that idea, because it's a correct idea, we allow ourselves a temporary pause on the values element of it, right? The rules, a couple problems. One, you could just be wrong, right? You could just totally be wrong about the state of things. We're not really great at predicting. And two, now that there's no greater anchor than the result, you're very, very close to just creating the catastrophe or the travesty yourself. This time it'll be different, right? Those other people who crossed those lines, they were evil, but that was them. This is me. Let's just kill everything that we perceive as a threat. Let's see how that goes. What in that situation is the threat? Exactly. This is why I think in the hero shows, they do both, right? That's sort of the ultimate. They do what needs to be done, and they don't turn a blind eye to things, and they're realistic, and they give everything they have in service to stopping things that are harming other people. But they have very key lines they don't cross to prevent them from becoming the villains themselves. What you ultimately end up at is, it's really hard, and that sucks. But, if you're not doing what's right because it's difficult, can you even call yourself a hero? Also, this is a bit of a tangent, but I also love in these radical, tear it all to the ground, kill your enemy, it's okay because it's me type thinking. There's a really funny assumption there that the side wins and everyone is kind of at the helm of this new world, when really it's probably just a small group of people like it always is, and you're the same victim in a whole new way. But we've destroyed a lot of things. We've crossed a lot of lines and done horrific things to get here. So, congratulations. His argument, if I'm understanding correctly, is such a beautiful example of assessing the problem correctly, and so therefore getting conviction, but then misassessing, misdiagnosing the solution. So he's like, this is all luck and we can't control luck. So therefore, we should try to clamp down more on luck. No, actually, you can't control luck at all as part of your premise. You don't know how things are going to fall, so you have to try to be good all the time. And I mean, it's a lot, but I think if you go far enough down that chain of thought, I think actually what values turn out to be is what gives you the maximal guarantee of good outcome. Trying to shortcut holistic long-term good outcome with immediate good outcome probably in the same way undermines its own goal. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Here's Mark feeling right. Sure, Mark feels very, very right and very good. This show has a way of making you just look really hard at the worst things. Like, just face it. He's very important here. It's a lot, though. It's a lot. I don't know. This relationship also could be very strained at this point. Because, he really needs her, for anything that is normal and human. Jelly. That's not useful. Unless you have an enemy that is allergic to wetness or just really hates psychedelic color. Maybe if I make it bigger, no, same thing. If you can't do it small, why could you do it big? What's happening to you? Why are you melting? Maybe there's an enlightenment here, you know? Maybe this is good. Maybe there's a silver lining. It's a sign of something more than material manifestation. I don't know. The essence of reality that she's tapping into somehow.
I really need to talk to someone right now. Call me when you can.
That sucks, man. He's in a world of hell, world of hurt.
Hi, Mark.
Tread lightly here.
Cecil would like a word.
Okay, honestly, I think that's helpful. I mean, Mark probably not going to love this.
Please.
You know what? I think if nothing else, Mark might just want to feel some human company right now. There's some sort of camaraderie there. It's not nothing. They at least are in the same field and understand some of the same things, right? I think I would be aching for just any human connection, someone who would understand me at all. Cecil would.
Sorry. What's up?
Look
I found us
this.
a home so we can live together because that's important right now.
I mean, the square footage and the location alone makes it a steal.
How durable are the cupboards?
We wouldn't even have a mortgage. I'm sure the boys would love having more space.
Whoa. You need to get married for that, though. Why would you buy a house together before getting married? I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna have to pass on that. That's a no from me.
All clear.
Oh my God. Okay. That's terrifying. With paper? Is it origami?
Oh, shit.
Yep.
Y'all.
That's too late. Wow. What does that remind me of? Well, I mean, one is Gambit from X-Men. It makes me think of Edgeshot from My Hero, but that's not quite right. Wasn't there another paper cork user?
Take Fiona and run.
Oh, it's steel. Oh my God. No, okay. Wow. Yeah. I don't think he's out of the crime life yet. Something tells me. Nice. Good thinking. This is a very direct attack. This is why he and Mark are friends. I do not. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much for that.
What the fuck is going on?
Thank you for being here. Speaking of Mark, this is very Mark. Yeah, this is a direct parallel. Except I don't think he's gonna feel remorse about it later. Probably feels great right now. That's one of the worst things about winning a fight. When the adrenaline wears off, remembering how good it felt.
It's like I close my eyes and you're all grown up.
He does age quickly, but yeah, he's also developed a lot emotionally.
You seem sad a lot of the time now, or angry, or both.
Yeah.
Your brother's
you're
still
right to be
working through
concerned.
everything that's happened over the last few months.
This is true, but he could use a little bit of care, I think. It's tough lines. Speaking of tough
We
lines.
can't fight change, Oliver.
Tough lines all over the place.
But we can support the ones we love as they deal with it.
Right. I think that's what Oliver wants. That's his point. Okay, sometimes space is the answer there. I don't think it hurts to reach out and directly talk to him about it, maybe. I don't think Oliver's actual objection is change itself. It's just concern for his older brother.
I know what you're gonna say, Cecil, and I'm really not in the...
You made the right choice, Mark. I would have done the same thing.
Right. Yeah, he would have. That's not empty.
It's not who you are, Mark.
Okay, this is interesting. I like this approach.
I'll do anything to stop that from happening again.
I know. That's what makes you a good person, Mark.
Right.
and I
You're in the
wanna
right
keep you that way.
trajectory. This is necessary iteration because strength based on delusion is not strength. So yeah, that's a possibility, right? I think the goal and the point and hopefully the outcome of this approach and this conversation is that this isn't the final destination. You know, like there's still farther to go. There is a harmony here to be found somewhere. Like it can't be perfectly encapsulated or grasped, but you know, we can push it. We can get better and better. This to me, if this were any other thing besides, you know, this planetary life or death scale would be very encouraging and would look very healthy. It's like, yeah, you're figuring it out. You hit upon a limitation here. It's harder than you thought, right? Like it's tough. The way I identify with this is in my very low stakes way of adolescence. Adolescence is typically a process of trying to find the balance between fitting into society and surviving versus maintaining some sort of independence and free thought. What that looks like a lot of the time initially is just outright rebellion, hating school, railing against the system, oversimplified but still highly emotional worldviews. And it's not that sophisticated, right? And you don't want to stay in that adolescent stage forever. But looked at as a sequence, it's really encouraging. You know, you're thinking for yourself. You are realizing that the things you've been told weren't the full truth. They were just sort of there as placeholders for you so you could function and get to this point probably where you actually can reason for yourself and make something for yourself. Eventually that becoming something like much higher things in a very rich and personally felt way that as a byproduct helps you appreciate somewhat the structure of society or whatever, but in a way that doesn't make you a conformist to it or, you know, beholden to the worst elements of it. And it's a shame that Mark has to go through this when there's so much tragedy involved and also much greater stakes and danger for him of that phenomenon if he does end up just staying here forever or, you know, leaning into it.
Decisions like this, they change you, and not for the better. It's the reason I make the calls and the Guardians don't, so they can sleep at night.
Right, right. Though I don't think that lets them off the hook. I don't think you get to pass off that agency to someone else. I really don't like that excuse of like, I'm just doing my job, which, you know, essentially is what that is. Speaking of true evil, this is the concept behind call centers, where the people in charge, you know, they just hate you and want you to suffer, but they don't ever allow a chance where they're put in the line of fire. They put pawns in the way whose answer is, I'm just doing my job, right? But no, I don't accept that as an excuse. You choose your life. You don't suddenly have no moral responsibility because someone told you to do something. That's ridiculous. But from a psychological perspective, the genius tactic.
You don't have to work for me, but when it comes to who lives or dies, don't make that decision alone. Let me do it. Or at least let me chime in, for Christ's sake.
This, I think, is a false friend. I appreciate the intent, but...
Cover everything up and take a lunch.
We don't take lunch.
You do
Invincible
now.
is here, so cover these up and disappear for a few
He
hours.
doesn't like these. Speaking of not sleeping, they have that in common.
Cease makes you sound pompous.
Your lack of self-awareness is astounding.
Yes.
My actions
Right.
are my responsibility, not yours.
I like this response, yeah.
There are emotional consequences to these kinds of decisions that I've seen
They're-
eat heroes alive.
All of this is true, yeah. I think that offer is a deal with the devil, and I think that actually makes things worse long term. I think it just eats away at him silently. It does probably solve this immediate risk, but I think that those small things you ignore, you know, those tiny concessions, they are all the worse for the fact that they make the situation more survivable, because then you tolerate it for 20, 30 years. And then you're at a point where, you know, maybe there's a chance you can actually see it. You realize, well, this was wrong, but you've retread that ground so many times, it's now a superhighway. To reverse course would be so difficult, and you'd also have to admit you were wrong this whole time, and you'd have to admit your wrongdoing. It was already difficult to face in the beginning, and now you've been practicing that behavior and running from it for 20 to 30 years. I mean, good luck. Like I said, it's great psychologically as an appeal, but terrible, terrible idea. So, like, amazing that Mark said no to that.
Sinclair, for the love of God, will you get the fuck out of here?
Okay. This is not good timing. Really not good timing.
I wanted to apologize for my experiments.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to hear an apology from you. I don't want to hear anything from you
This
ever
is
again.
fair. He said his piece.
Don't do that. Don't act like I was
going to kill him. Let's not pretend that thought didn't cross your mind. You
I don't
hate
want to be judged for thoughts. I don't care about thoughts.
They're already saving more lives than most heroes do their entire careers.
So? That doesn't give him a free pass for torturing and killing people.
It doesn't. They're separate things.
Like he just happened to wander in here by accident while we were talking.
I mean,
did
this
not
does
plan
seem
that.
like an accident.
I told him
yeah.
to fuck off to lunch.
That's honest. He did.
Are you going to tell him about Conquest?
After the kid just killed someone?
Oh, yeah, Conquest.
If you want my job that badly, Donald, just ask.
Right. We don't have a lot of legs to stand on here with Mark.
Hey, I was just...
Eve needs comforting.
wrong?
Eve also human.
My powers.
Yeah.
They're
rough.
not just messing up anymore.
They're just completely unusable.
They slip through my fingers. I can't link them together. I can't control them. I can't make anything.
There's a metaphor here that makes two of us.
We'll figure this out, okay?
It's a lot. Well, maybe it feels good to be comforting to her. Gives them something to focus on that actually is good. You know, help my girlfriend.
It's Invincible ink.
I can't, Eve.
Imagine putting in an order for him right after this plays on the news. That's the guy I want for my job. That's just the wrong marketing. The way you sprayed that guy's brains into a fine mist.
Cecil covered it up, but...
Oh, so it wasn't on the news. That was a charity.
Eve, I
killed
didn't know
someone.
what else to do.
I believe that though. Like I believe that's honest. It doesn't make it right, but it is very revealing for where he is and who he is. You know, have a little faith in our boy Mark. I don't think this is what, you know, a cold-blooded, heartless killer looks like.
This is stupid. I'm supposed to be here for you right now.
Stop.
We're for each other.
Right. Yes. It's a gift to each other.
I can help.
You've been there the whole time.
Oliver.
I was already here. You guys came inside. But whatever it is, I can do it.
So many of these things are counterintuitive. In these situations when things are going wrong, it's so much easier to shrivel up into a ball and to hide the whole thing because we think there's an image that we have to project, right? I gotta be the strong one for you. But actually, as cliche as it is to say, no one is strong in a vacuum. Nobody can really exist in any sort of meaningful way alone. And so effectively what you're doing is in a moment of weakness, you're severing the things that initially made you strong in order to project an image of strength. You know, it's counterproductive. Though it often feels more challenging, the right thing to do is probably lean into the things that give us has strength. For Mark, what that looks like is, lean into Eve and lean into Oliver and lean into Debbie. These are unequivocally good things for him, right? And the sources of who he is. And the more he can recalibrate through contact with his touchstones, the better he'll be able to recuperate and to figure this out and to come away from this experience, this tragic experience, better and stronger. Whereas it's very easy to relate to and imagine a scenario in the reverse where he's like, no, I'm invincible. I'm fine. Don't ask me any questions. Leave me alone. Why do you keep asking me if I'm all right? Getting upset at the hint that people want to be there for you, etc. And then, you're just alone, isolated, feeling worse. The assumption, the prerequisite, of course, is that, they actually are good people. But for Mark, that happens to be the case.
I'm just saying, we could cut our losses and rejoin the Order.
Did you seriously just fucking say that?
A tough sell, especially for somebody really proud. Oh, they called. They have someone new they can use. I guess they didn't know who it was, but they sent him to the building. Perhaps an oversight on Mark's part.
We are not charging you guys enough.
Charging you the you have money fee.
Whatever he can do, I can do too. Probably better even.
I was wondering if he was going to add that, yeah.
I'm making sure no one can ever hurt you.
You want my help or not?
Well, Oliver really using that emotional leverage.
Is that what I think it is?
What is it? What now? What is it now? Oh, is this like the interplanetary things from way, way back? He looks pleased with himself. Right, they have the time allergy. So, I mean, this was like 40 years for them. This also plays perfectly into this whole, let's not leave any traces of threat anymore. Wait, didn't Omni-Man take care of that already? Didn't they take care of their entire planet? I guess even Omni-Man didn't adhere totally to that philosophy, amazingly. Already getting soft from his time on Earth. And then it took them a long, long time to recover. Like a whole Earth week. This again.
Some bullshit when Invincible did it, and it's
yeah.
More bullshit now.
Try to enjoy it.
We're just gonna teach someone that messing with my family has consequences.
Oliver knows something about messing with your family having consequences.
They will have had ample time to prepare for this incursion.
But being in our dimension makes them grow old and die.
So they gotta do hit and runs.
Or something to stop
oh yeah, the wristband things, right?
This is serious, Shapesmith.
This is fruit punch. Would you like some?
I don't think there's any left, judging by the sound.
Initial data suggests they are using a single, more powerful emitter this time.
So it can't be destroyed, unless we find that one thing.
Which is new for them and bad for us.
There's nothing left. It's all gone.
Oh, I'm still a little tuckered out from yesterday's fight.
We don't have Omni-Man helping out this
time,
time,
one asked.
So I got us someone even better.
We're working together. I will never work for you again. Seem to recall. Oh, yeah, a little bit uneasy.
You want to tell him to go home?
This whole thing seems pretty simple to me.
Tell him, Mike. Yes, I actually think the emitter is a step backwards.
And die.
Unless it's really, really well hidden. Well, that was so dramatic. Watch them get old and die, and then the backwards skydive, leap out of the plane. Let's see what he can do. Wow. Amazing.
Guardians! Free those prisoners ASAP.
I got him.
I mean, he actually legitimately does seem like a pretty decent leader. They have these also now. Their technology has improved. He sure looks happy with himself. Yeah, they really are very anti-fragile, except for time. Very fragile to time. Oh, you're really making this difficult. The writers of the show, they just love to push it. You're already flirting with the idea. You're at the precipice of being like, yeah, you know what? Let's just kill all the threats. But then, you catch yourself. What am I saying? Eliminate the threats? I sound like some kind of crazy genocidal maniac, and a wave of relief washes over you, having come to your senses. And then they're like, remember the Flaxans? Yeah, well, because you didn't kill them, they're now about to enslave the entire planet. You gave them 3 chances that they didn't take. Look at you. Look at your mercy. Look what it's done for you in the world. Then again, I don't know. I don't really care about the Flaxans. I don't know. I'm on Team Humanity. If you're really gonna, force my hand here, I have that stopgap at least. Wow, and then Rudy hit him with a whole scooter. Air scooter? What are those things called? Can you imagine the damage this is gonna do to Adam's taxes? Adam's taxes paid for that scooter. He absolutely is the real victim here.
They have a large number of reinforcements.
Thanks, Rudy. He can't be Captain of the Guardians, but he can be Captain Obvious. This is why we tolerate the Martian. Awesome.
Everybody down.
Is he gonna fall in it? Wow, he's a true hero. Oh my god, he's okay though, right? Okay, he's still making noises. That's encouraging.
I don't
Okay.
know if you noticed, Cecil, but there's a lot of them.
And they have a lot of reinforcements.
Exactly how many Flaxans are we up against?
Thousands.
Oh, that's it? Well, that's not that bad. Yeah, I feel like there's more efficient ways than taking them out one by one with their little puny lasers.
How does your friend know this is the spot?
Also, I feel like, I know these are just like separate storylines happening simultaneously as we watch it. Maybe not in real time or conceived in real time, but Oliver really should be here for the Claxon invasion. I think it's more important than this thing that also Mark probably should have given him a primer on to prevent him from falling into the same mistakes. But, this is an odd team up that could go in so many different directions. But I do love that Oliver's having his own thing. Speaking of Breaking Bad, right? But he has no bell. He needs a bell. Very discreet. You'll be safe here. It's on the side of the road. Nice. I would love it. I would be so happy if Oliver just soloed this thing.
Oh yeah, real weak.
Yeah, it's just a superpowered magical Rayquaza. No big deal. If it makes me feel better, you could kill this thing. Killing this would be all right. It's a beautiful creature. It'd be better if you could, catch it at a Pokeball, but...
Mark's busy.
Right.
Forget the job and get out of there.
Yeah. The dragon is not really an existential threat, as powerful as it is. You should join Mark here. Call Oliver. They are not afraid to sacrifice for the Klaxon cause.
I picked the worst time to do a juice cleanse. We can't break through.
Is that what he was doing? There you go. There you go. There's more efficient ways of this, right? It's only thousands. You don't have area attacks? Blow up the ships. The ships that are arriving with all the soldiers.
If that was my one weakness, I'd hide it pretty well.
Yeah. Through the portal, that would be kind of crazy. Maybe it's in Klaxon. I mean, you could just send one of your drones, right? Nice. There you go. So cool. There you go. I like the teamwork. This is nuts to actually go to Klaxon.
I'm sorry, Cecil. It's the only way.
I had no choice. Oh, hello. There it is. That looks like an antenna, I guess. Well, this is awkward. Nice. Wow. There's no reason to actually go in there with your body, right? Nice, and the catch too. This is amazing. This is awesome. I may just have a very short memory. I mean, I do have a very short memory, and I suffer from the recurring disease of recency bias. But I think this is one of the coolest Guardians fights of the show so far that I can remember. It's really cool, is my point. It feels like it has stakes. I think sometimes what happens with the Guardians, the problem it suffers from, is that they're kind of just maintaining until Mark or someone stronger shows up, or they kind of have the subsidiary mission. But here, though I don't think this is the first time, it feels like they're actually really leading in a critical way and are showcased really well for their individual strengths and personalities. I actually really like the new leader. I was sort of wondering what his deal was when he was introduced, but this just made me really like him. His voice actor doesn't hurt. And then like Rudy Rex going into a whole other planet on a seek and destroy mission. Pretty great stuff. Oh, it's the age stuff. Oh yeah, because he destroyed the transmitter.
Finally.
Yeah, Rudy Rex really doing big stuff this episode, and he just keeps going. There's more. We got to finish them once and for all. If there's any chance that they can be dangerous.
They will not fail next time.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me. Let's go.
Crazy.
No, stop. That's an order.
Sorry, Cecil. Some orders you just can't follow.
Orders for thee, but not for me. You gotta follow my orders, but, that's different. My orders are correct. Your orders, well, they have a fatal flaw, and that's the fact that I don't agree. It is funny, like, there is something really poetically beautiful about the fundamental structure of a lot of these arguments being I had no choice, which I don't think Cecil really has great legs to stand on there. In its own way, in its own little microcosm, it is itself one of those arguments for non-consequentialist thinking and principle rules-based thinking. If it's for result, right, if it's for consequence, the need for this result outstrips the rules in the protocol. Well then, there is always need, which kind of begs the question, why were the rules there in the first place? How did we get to those rules? It might be through that very same process that, long-term we figured out was ultimately destructive. Maybe half old, half young. My legs are so old. Barely made it. I should have closed the portal. Don't get trapped in there. Oh my god, that is crazy. His legs are really old and his torso is completely dead.
Can we just open a portal of our own?
How?
Ouch.
Oh, that does look like ouch, yeah. Wow.
You're supposed to be dead.
Yes. Like a lot of the villains and problems in the show. You know, they would be less morally conflicted about a lot of these things if people actually died sometimes, you know? Like if villains actually would just do the good service of dying or going away, but no, they just can't. No one ever. Come to think of it, who has died? Is Doc Seismic still alive? Is Rex the only one? Rex and Russ, you know? Not even the sequence, just Russ.
Let's kick his ass.
Yeah, with two of them, it's just gonna be fun. It's gonna be sport. These are the two people that fought Conquest. He actually was safe there, amazingly.
You! Hey!
I guess, yeah, he didn't know. That makes sense. Focus. Okay, yeah, that too. Oh, no, no, okay, this is, oh, no, yeah, stop. You gotta stop this.
Stop.
Yeah, stop. Don't do that. You're really losing it a little bit here. Thank God Oliver was there. But yeah, don't do that again. Don't ever do that again. That was oddly dark. Weirdly, I mean, hard to say, even though it's less severe and even though it's sort of more understandable. It's one of the most shocking displays from Mark that I can recall, partly because there was like no hesitation at all. There was no like deliberation or anything. And also the stakes were so low. Like the battle was won. There was no danger. It was just pure anger. Also, he's not targeting Mark's family, right? He's using Mark's family. He's manipulative. It's not the same thing as Ernstrom or Conquest. Yeah, you gotta like stop calling us for real though. The irony of trying to save my family by destroying your family, I don't like it.
They'll find a way home. And we'll figure out what's wrong with your powers. Get Cecil's people on it if we have to.
I'm glad it's Rudy.
Are you okay?
It almost happened again.
Yeah, this is not good. And I think there's a spiral that happens with this too. If you're losing yourself to anger and then you sort of sober up and realize you've been angry and you sort of internally chastise yourself for having gotten angry. Since that itself, you know, the self-chastisement doesn't fix the emotional issue, you will get angry again, but now it's compounded because on top of the anger, which is bad enough, you also have the shame of having failed yourself. I told myself I wasn't going to lose it and I lost it. I guess I just have no self-control at all. I just don't know myself. So now you're primed. You're super sensitive to this issue. And like tragically, what I think ends up happening is that you often end up on more of a hair trigger. It's easier to get angry because you're so like wound up about the whole thing.
So it's all water under the bridge, kumbaya, and all that hippy-dippy bullshit.
Let's make one thing clear. The only reason I'm here is...
Hold up!
Long one.
Turns out there's another guy a bit skittish about people trying to cut his throat.
Oops. You designed this on purpose.
Man, it's so
wow.
good to have the family back together.
Yeah, total all-consuming victory.
Now back to the business of making so much money. It's fucking ridiculous!
All for money. He is high on life. High on success. That's gotta feel good. It's gotta be better than money, right?
Eve? Everything all right?
Everything's...
Oh no, is she melting? She's losing her. Oh, she's pregnant. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's not that far-fetched. I don't know why I didn't see that coming. Wow, Nolan is gonna be a grandfather? Wow. This was such a crazy episode. It's pretty amazing how like it was fun throughout with this huge sequence just backloaded towards the end of the episode, which is so much went down so quickly. It makes me so happy that the show is so good and so consistently good. Who would have known, you know, like I remember being so apprehensive after the first season of like the first season's drama was so expertly tailored and so beautifully done. I mean, I still think that's among peak Invincible, right? So after that, it's like, how do you keep that sort of energy going? But it does. I mean, it's great. It's really compelling. I think it really understands where the pressure points are for hero issues and the struggle of having to be good in the face of evil all the time. Really some of the most extreme cases or arguments for like, just give in, you know, just give in to the cruelty or whatever. Why are you trying to be reasonable? Why are you trying to uphold rules? People are dying. What are you, some kind of sick monster? You think this person or this race's life has value when they're doing this to the world? It just repeatedly sticks the knife in. And it's perfect because it's done such a great job establishing Mark and his family and getting us to really care about him and them, to understand where he came from, and then simultaneously playing us with Omni-Man. His whole backstory just changing the feel of everything while he finds the light and while Mark seems to be risking descending into the darkness. One of the things I'm so looking forward to now is Omni-Man's return to Earth at this critical time when Mark actually could use a father, as difficult and crazy as that sounds.